Hello, good morning, everyone. I just want you. I just want to go over. This is the 2008 GMC Acadia with the 3.6. On my previous video, I did an engine swap. Replaced it with a used engine. That's the old engine right there. It's still sitting in there collecting water. And this customer came. He wanted to replace the engine with the used engine. He provided the engine. Apparently the engine has about 100,000 miles. Right now the car is on. It's running. It sounds pretty good. I don't have any coats. It started right up. We got good compression and we have good oil pressure too. I already dropped this truck a few miles, but I don't know if you remember or if you watched my previous video. This is when I recommended this customer to replace his filter. Since we're pulling out the engine, replace the filter on the transmission. Because as you know, these are sealed transmissions and the filter is not serviceable. And I do pretty much the same thing to all of these transmissions. If I'm doing an engine swap, I always recommend the customer to replace his filter, transmission filter, because there's no way to change it, and most of the time people don't even change the fluid, especially if they have like over 100,000 miles. It's a good idea. 150,000 miles, a good idea to replace it. So he said, yeah, go ahead, replace it. But when I opened the transmission was burned up. It was all chewed up. It was burned up. As a matter of fact, I think I got the input shaft drum. Yeah, it's right here. This is the well, it's not called the input shaft. It's not called the input shaft drum no more. This one houses the 135 and reverse. And as you can see, it's all chewed up. They burn up. Yeah, all of them. All of the clutches burn up. So what do we do at this point? So the customer asked me, I got a 4-wheel drive in good condition. Can we use the 4-wheel drive transmission into a 2-wheel drive car? And I say yes we can, but only if it's 2007 and 2008. So if you have a 2007, 2008 transmission, the parts will be interchangeable. Excuse me. So what I did, I used the I'll remove the bell housing for the 4-wheel drive. That's the bell housing for the 4-wheel drive, and I use the original bell housing from the 2-wheel drive, and I also remove the final drive, the differential. This is the 4-wheel drive differential, and this is its mating gear right there. And I used the original 2-wheel drive differential with the original mating gear. And that's the pump, that's the filter. In order to remove the filter, you have to remove the pump to replace the filter. So yes, it is possible. It is possible to make a two-wheel drive into a four-wheel drive, or vice versa, a four-wheel drive into a two-wheel drive. So this all the parts out of the four-wheel drive: the bell housing, the pump, the stator I got it in the back, and the gears. And like I was telling you in my previous video, just be careful when you start swapping out parts. You got to make sure that you got the right parts. On this year, it has to be 2007 and 2008. That's it. You cannot swap out parts from any other year. That was the first gen on these vehicles. And as you can see, these are 2007. And as you can see, they all different. This differential right here, I just got this for demonstration purpose. This one came from a 2015. It was a Chevrolet. I think it was a Chevrolet Traverse. It's still a 6-speed. But as you can see, this is 2007, and you can tell right away this one is bigger than this one, and he actually has more tooth. I believe this one has 51 tooth, no 61 teeth, and this one has like 59, I think 59 teeth. So the gear ratio are different. And when you stop swapping out parts or gears, they all gonna have markings. As you can see right here, this one has 2 lines, and its mating gear has 2 lines too. Let me see, maybe this one. This is the mating gear. And what you want to do is keep them as pairs. Keep them together. This one has 1 mark right there, and this is its mating gear, and it's got 1 line too. It's got 1 line. So these are matching pairs, and you want to keep them together. You don't want to swap this gear with this gear, or this gear with this gear, because you're gonna have a lot of problems. So this is it. I just wanna show you what the outcome was. I know in my previous video I explained how to replace the filter, how to make the two-wheel drive, the four-wheel drive into two-wheel drive. And this is the final result. This is the outcome. And I'm gonna take this Acadia for a test drive. That way you can see how it's shifting. Oh, one more thing. When you're swapping out used transmissions, you gotta make sure that you replace, you use the original TCM. This is the TCM that came out of the four-wheel drive. But remember, Chevrolet uses the TCM inside the transmission, and the TCM has to be programmed to the PCM. This is the PCM. So most of the time, if you swap a transmission, a Chevrolet transmission, I believe '09 and up, and you don't use your original TCM, it's not gonna match your PCM. So you're gonna have shifting problems issues. You're gonna have transmission codes. Sometimes the transmission won't even move. Yeah, so this is the tip of the day. Whenever you're swapping out transmissions, used transmissions, this is what you got to do. You have to replace the TCM that matches your PCM on the car. And another tip, if you already removing this this TCM, it's got pressure switches right here. See, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, and these pressure switches tend to rip. And if you leave it like this and they ripped, you're gonna get transmission codes. The transmission might not shift right. So you wanna, once you remove this, make sure you put new ones. There's a kit that you can buy offline or at a transmission parts place, and they'll sell you the kit with the tools, and you can replace the pressure switches seals and the inside of it. This is not blowing out yet, but it's good. Right now it's a good time to replace it. And also this screen right here, make sure it's clean. Make sure it's clean and it doesn't have debris. And if you can, remove it and clean it. Make sure it's not torn up. You know, sometimes they get torn up over here, the little screens. If that's the case, just go ahead and replace it with the new one. They're not that expensive. What else? Oh, I think in my previous video I didn't give you the part number for the transmission filter. So here it is right now. This is the part number, FK100, and you can actually get this at your local store, at your O'Reilly store. So far I've been buying them from O'Reilly's and I haven't had any problems with it. So I highly recommend this filter right here. And your output shaft seals and your converter seal, I think I gave you the part number on the other one, on the previous video, but you can get them at O'Reilly's too. This is the converter seal, and this is the output shaft seal, and on the other side of the transmission it's got another seal too. But enough talking, let's go ahead and test drive this car. I'm just gonna go down the street. I got my scanner hooked up to it, and let's go to data. Let's go to transmission data. We are on engine data. So transmission data. Okay, let's keep our eyes on the vehicle speed and the command gear. Let me see. How do I do this? It's kind of hard. Okay, let me put it right here. Alright. we're probably gonna have to be around 50 or 60 miles per hour in order to get all 6 gears shift. There's a bunch of cars coming. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. But it's a good transmission. It's running good. I already drove it a few times and it shifts fine. So I'm just making this video to show you the outcome on the engine and the transmission. So we're shifting into second, we're shifting into third. That's fourth gear. Fifth. Sixth gear. And he actually shifted pretty smooth. There's no jerking, there's no revving up, there's no hard shifting. It shifts pretty smooth. So my job here is done. Engine swap, and I converted a 4-wheel drive transmission into a 2-wheel drive transmission. And we got this car back on the road. And well, that took care of this issue. It's a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of labor. And I'm just kind of glad that I suggested that to my customer, because otherwise we would have put the engine back together and reassemble everything, and next thing you know, the transmission wasn't gonna shift, or it was gonna shift, but it might have shifted hard or slipped, so and the other downfall is that we would have to remove the transmission again. And this way we save a lot of time and we save a lot of money, because he saved a lot of money because while the engine was out, we went ahead and repaired or swapped the transmission too. What are the odds? You come in for a bad engine and you end up with the burnt transmission too. That goes to show you how terrible people are for maintenance. A lot of people don't do maintenance on these cars. And that's why they're going out. Many people want to say that, oh yeah, those cars are really bad, they're just headaches. They're not worth messing with. Don't get one of them because you're gonna have a lot of problems. And yes, you're gonna have a lot of problems if you don't ever service these cars. If you don't ever maintenance these cars, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of problems. But other than that, if you keep the oil changes, engine oil changes every 3 months, every 3,000 miles, the engine's gonna be healthy. If the engine has an oil leak, go ahead and take care of it right away. Don't wait until it runs out of oil. If you transmission, if it's got like 60,000 miles, just drain it out and put some new fluid in it. That's all you can do on these cars, every 60,000 miles, just go ahead and drain out the transmission. It takes about it takes about 4 quarts, I think, 4.5 quarts to drain and refill. So that's all you can do on these transmissions. But believe it or not, if you do that, they're gonna last quite a bit. But this is it for today, guys. I just wanted to show you the outcome on this vehicle, and we're done here. We don't have any transmission codes nor engine codes, and we're just gonna drive it for a little longer, make sure that everything's good. All 6 gears are shifting. My job here is done. It's a well job done, and another happy customer. So if you got any questions, guys, put them below the comments and subscribe. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good one.